So welcome back to Real Res Talk. My name is Sam. I'm joined by Chivy. Manchester United have lost 3-0 to Tottenham Hotspur in my opinion, probably one of the worst games I've seen under Ten Hag. I think it beats the absolute drubbing by Crystal Palace. That was disgraceful, in my opinion. We're going to get Chivy's thoughts on it. Let us know how you're feeling in the chat. I've gone with the headline Ten Hag, it's over, but we'll touch on Ten Hag separately. Like, let's just focus on the game purely for now, Chivy. What went wrong? Is it capable of like encapsulating it into what's gone wrong there, or is it like just so many things that you can't even put your finger on one of them?
How many times have we said this like we've said, oh, that was probably the worst performance we've seen. Like we've said it so many times, like it's laughable at this point.
Yep.
I'm not even that bothered anymore, to be honest. Like after half an hour in, I was just like, yeah, I mean,
3 minutes, mate.
like,
3 minutes they scored.
Yeah, no, there's 3 minutes, but like half an hour into the game, like when I just saw there wasn't any like real response or nothing tactically to change anything. Yeah, I just kind of gave up. I don't think we can actually talk about like what went wrong without talking about the manager, because
Yeah. I meant in
that's
terms
what it
of
is.
I meant in terms of like sacking him and all that sort of stuff. I want to touch on that separately.
Yeah.
But if you want to touch on
Oh
like
yeah.
tactically and stuff, then go for it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it annoys me to keep saying this, to keep banging this in, but like, I mean, I had no. I don't know if you saw that in the chat. Like, I had no confidence in that midfield of Maino and Ugarte. Like, individually, they're really good players, but together, I just didn't see any chemistry. I just didn't see what they were trying to do. We need ball players, and we don't play there. Ugarte is not a ball player.
Yeah,
you've only got Maino in there. You got Bruno, who, some days he can play with the ball, other days he's just crap. And he was absolute shite today. Him and Ugarte, like, yeah, not good at all. And then when you did players like Ahmed on to like, because Ahmed can do everything. He can run in behind for the counter, control the ball. He's good at passing, and like, man, the selection to me was just crap. Like when I saw it, like I had no faith in it, to be honest. Like I really didn't have any faith in the selection, and that's why I just feel like it's really difficult for me to talk about what went wrong. We're just a badly coached team. We have really good players, but we're just badly coached. Like if we're playing a style of football, Gary never mentioned it during the game. Like you have to get every pass inch perfect for this style of football that we're playing. Everything has to be perfect.
you have to be
We're never
you
gonna
have
get
to be
that.
city levels, don't you, of passing? Like
Yeah, unless you're Barcelona in like 2010, that Messi Barcelona. Unless you're Barcelona with Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, you cannot play this style of football.
Yep.
This quick transition style of football where every pass has to be perfect. You definitely can't play with the type of players that we fielded out there. Ugarte does not play that kind of football.
No.
Bruno doesn't play that kind. Like, how is that going to happen? You have instinctive players like Rashford and Garnacho, who are really good at what they do, but it's not just what he's trying to do. So it's hard to talk about what went wrong. Everything went wrong. Selection went wrong. Style of play went wrong. Tottenham read us like a book. They came in there confident and they executed their game plan. And they played with ease. Like it was easy.
They weren't even that great, were they? Like they were good, but they weren't absolutely tearing us apart. They were just decent and did what they needed to do.
You know what they were? They were organized. And this is what I was saying the other time.
They were professional.
Yeah, just all you need to do is just be organized against Man United and you're good. Yeah. You're good to go. FC 20 was organized against us. Southampton, the first half was organized. Crystal Palace was just be organized. It's not that hard to beat United or at least get a result. Just be organized. And that's it. And that's what really happened.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like everyone watching or whoever, like everybody, just get thick skin from now on because this is what it's going to be.
Yeah, there was so much, like you said, wrong with this game, like the manager selection, the tactics, the style of play, etc. Do you think the players, because it looks like on the pitch, a lot of the players gave up. Like a lot of players didn't want to play. Do you think that's because they lack faith in this, whatever it is Ten Hag was trying to do, or whether it's Ten Hag was trying to play? Do you think they've just decided in their heads, we cannot do this? Or do you reckon they're just struggling to do things that they're clearly not good at? Like, what's the feeling you're getting off the players with the attitude and stuff like that on the pitch?
They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They come in with a game plan and they meet an opposition that's organized and knows everything that they're trying to do already. So then they just don't know what to do. I don't buy this thing that the players aren't asked, or the players, it's in their best interest to play better. They lose bonuses when they don't play they don't play well. When we lose, a lot of their wages have been dropped because we didn't make Champions League. So they get perks. So it's in their best interest to play. They don't just get paid every time the same amount. Like, they lose a lot of stuff. You get a yellow card, you get fined for it, you drop wages, stuff like that. So it's in their best interest. I don't buy this argument of the players, they just don't want to play, or they don't have that. It's in their best interest to play. They lose their international spots when they don't play well. Things like that. So I think we have a really good set of players, but we just don't have a coach that's good enough to coach them. What annoys me is that I think Ten Hag is good enough to coach them. I just think he has this idea in his head.
And he's not.
That's very unrealistic.
He won't move from it either. Like, he won't change it.
And it's very unrealistic because we've seen him play good football before. Yes. We've seen him coach Ajax. We've seen some of the things he did at Ajax.
We've seen him adapt at United when he realised he didn't have the players to do the things he wanted to do in his first season, and he changed it.
Yeah, this first season. Yeah, just go back to that. Just go back to what you're doing here. Like, just adapt a little bit. But he's just completely just throwing everything out the window and wants to adapt this new style of play. And for some reason, it feels like he's trying to prove someone wrong by trying to play, and then he's kind of just got lost in it. And so it's not like I think he's good enough. I think but he's just, at the moment, he's not showing that. And ever since last season, I was done. And it's what happens now, and it starts to affect the players. Ugarte did not look like a £60 million player in that game at all. And
even
if you remember last season,
De Ligt and Mazraoui looked shit as well.
Yeah,
they looked awful.
If you remember last season, I was saying that this season we'll be asking the same questions with Kobe Mino. Like, we'll start wondering, like, wow, what's happening with Mino? It's him.
It's not his fault though, is it? It's not Kobe Maino's fault. Like, that player.
It's not Kobe's fault. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That if we have a manager that can't get the best out of this group of players, are you trying to tell me that the group of players at Palace, or the group of players at 20, or even Southampton, that first half, are you trying to tell me that they're better than these guys together? Let's get a new manager in and see what happens, and you guys will see what these players are capable of.
Yeah. I'm going to read out some comments, and then we'll sort of circle back on the match. A lot of people are very upset in the chat, which understandable. Absolute torture, still can't score. Aaron Gogi, Ten Hag out. They didn't have the balls to do it in the summer. It's all carried over last season's dross. That's what Chivy mentioned. Played into their hands first half, and now went man-to-man in the second half when we're a man down. He is stupid. If we lose to Porto on Thursday, I don't want him in charge for the Villa game. T2. Hi, lads. This feels like the end. I don't mean to be sacked tomorrow, but it's only a matter of time now. I'm gutted, but it seems like it's over. Bruno's challenge was not a real red. We're going to touch on that in a minute. That's my next point. Stubborn with a team selection, stubborn with style play, stubborn, delusional Dutchman wrecking my club. People are not happy.
Who's that?
Richard. No, Andy's not in there. I've not got to Andy yet. I'll get to Andy. I see a team lacking in confidence and belief. What bothers my piss is the lack of professionalism in the players. Why does this keep happening? I don't know the answer. Andy Williams. Here you go. Andy Williams. Stop talking about the players when I see the same thing for 3 years with these players. So there you go. I'm going to send it to you guys in a group chat and play the worst football in the Prem. Shite. True Cushman. Disgraceful. UTFI's got to go. Yeah, people are very unhappy with Ten Hag in the chat. touch briefly on the Bruno red card. I don't think it affected the match in any way. I think we still would have got beat 3-0 regardless of whether we got 10 men or not. Was it a red for you, Chivy?
You can't blame the ref for giving it. At that point, I didn't care.
Yeah, I was
really.
checked out. I was checked out. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, I think one of the commentators said he slipped and then the leg went high. I don't know. He was crap before
Yes.
that. Anyway.
Yes.
And Nick is going to do the pros and cons, I think. So
Good
Nick,
luck with
here's
that.
one for you.
Good luck with that, mate.
One pro is that one of the pros is that we don't have Bruno for the next 3 games.
Yeah.
So that's a big. I'm happy because we can experiment without having this guy, this disruptor, in there.
Yeah.
So that's the pro for you, Nick. We can experiment with other people. We can play Harrison in the 10. I hate him, but we could try Mount.
I mean, it probably not, because you see how much blood was coming out the back of his head when he came off the pitch.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's playing next week, is he? I doubt that. So
too bad. Yeah. So So yeah, but Bruno's red. Both of us were checked out, like you said. So I don't know. It was high. You can't. So in slow motion, you can kind of put in real time. I can't argue with the ref.
Yeah.
It was high. It was like to his knees.
Studs as well. Studs were showing. So it's like
Stud showing.
you give the ref a decision to make, then don't you? Like, and VAR apparently looked at it and agreed with the ref's decision. So at that point, you kind of, it's kind of. After that, obviously, I think we were still playing poor up until that point anyway, and obviously, second half opens up. We concede immediately again in the second half, and then there was a little bit of a spark of United sort of trying. Like, there was a couple of moments where we're going forward and making things happen, but again, I know you touched on the players in saying these players are good enough. What if I don't think Ten Hag survives this. But what does he have to do to survive? Like, what does he have to sort of tweak in this thing? Because I think, in my opinion, if we lose to I think we've got Porto, Villa. I think they're the next 2 games. I think if he loses them, and then we've got an international break, I think if he loses them, he's done. I think it's over. I don't think he lasts beyond that. And obviously, then Rude probably gets the interim job till the end of the season. Is he capable of saving this, or for you, Chivy, is it done? And we should just get rid of him now because there's no way of sort of changing this.
I'm trying to look for the perfect analogy. Like, he has the knowledge to do this. I don't know if it's a pride thing or if he's just stubborn, but he has the knowledge to do. He's not better than 20 man, is he?
No.
Like, he's not. He can't do this. He can dig into his bag, into all the knowledge he has. Just keep it simple. Just go back to what you did in your first season. Yeah. Play the 2 holding midfielders. Play like when Man United were known for counter-attack. Like, there's no shame in that. Is there any shame in that?
No,
that's what we do.
Fergie did it for years.
Fergie did it for years. Yeah. Go back to your conservative. Look what we did against City. That setup. That's the same way. City just played in against Newcastle.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Newcastle did.
Yeah.
The way we set up against them in the FA Cup, where we forced them to go wide, we played narrow in the middle. That's it. So when you face other teams, you can kind of adapt that style of football. Why am I telling you this? I don't know shit about football. But none of us do compared to what, But even if I can see it, then Jesus Christ, every other fucking manager can see it. You know what I'm saying? So like it's he can do it, but then it all things has to finish. He has to stop relying on certain players. Bruno for one. If he's not playing well,
he's going to be forced to now, isn't he? Because he's out for 3 games. So
yeah, take him out of the limelight. Like, everyone gets it wrong. Ferguson got it wrong so many times. But one thing he did was he never repaid bad performances. Ferguson never hesitated to take anyone out. If you're playing shit, he'll take you out. Like, we've seen that so many times. So one thing he needs to do is stop, just keep playing the same players, because he becomes so predictable. Like, he said it in the press conference when he was asked, like, how's he going to set up? He said it's going to be the same team from FC20. Yes, he changed Maguire in for Delete. Yeah. But it was still Manu and I mean, he's just way too predictable. So yeah, he has to. Go on.
Do you think we're really terrible going forward and sort of trying to play our game, or do you think we're, like you said, we're too predictable and too easy to beat? Do you think it's one or the other, or do you think it's both, like both of them together, and that's what makes us completely and utterly like
I think
terrible?
it's everything. I think it's just the approach. I think, you know, you can't play this transitional style of football when you're trying to control a game. You have to make a decision. Are you trying to control, or are you trying to give the opposition the ball, sit back and go forward? Like, what are you trying to do? I still don't know what he's really trying to, what our style is, to be honest.
I don't.
I know how we line up when we're building up sometimes, and I know how we line up when we're defending. But when we're building up, I don't know what to expect. I really don't know. So sometimes the players have the ball and they don't really know what to do. You can tell that they don't know what to do.
You can see because they'll get the ball and then they'll hesitate, won't they? They'll stop and then they'll look round. Like, you should know if you're a midfielder, once you receive the ball, you should know where your next pass is going. You should be like, turn out to the winger or through to the forward. You should know where your next pass is going. And they get the ball, they stop and they wait. And then they look round.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's too late now. The pass is gone. Like, the attack's gone. A
few times today, like you could tell when we're trying to press, or when the crowd, and I really have to give it up to the crowd because
they tried to get him going.
Yeah, it was the crowd. All that 10, 15 minute span that we had, it was all the crowd. And this is what I'm saying about momentum, the players and stuff. But anyway, you could tell every time when Tottenham won the ball back, everybody knew their position. Everybody knew what to do.
Organized.
Yeah, organized. Just watch for. I don't know if you change it now, but when we play our next game, whenever the player has the ball on the wing, when you look in the middle of the pitch, there's nobody. Nope. We're outnumbered in attack. There's nobody. Literally no one. A lot of times, Garnacho got the ball, trying to go and it's just miles apart from anyone close to him. I mean, 10 years ago, maybe this style of football would have been perfect for the league.
Maybe
but the way football has evolved now. I mean, the game has really evolved to the point where it's not just about individual brilliance anymore. It's about teams. It's about system. That's what wins you games now. And we're trying to play with this. We're trying to get. So I've been telling you guys since whenever we need to get. We got Ugarte now, right? He was supposed to be the savior, wasn't he? Bro, it's about systems now. So if we don't get a system that's sustainable, a system that brings out the best in our players, because this system exposes all our weaknesses.
Yeah. I think the system as
we
well.
We can go and bring. He's
naive.
Go and bring. Yeah.
I think it's naive. I think he did something. Obviously, it wasn't exactly what he did with Ajax in the Eredivisie, but something along the transitional football, that kind of stuff. I think he thought he could bring it here and it would work, and it doesn't work. And he's still trying to implement it. He's still trying to push it, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, but Sam, he hasn't tried it. He hasn't tried it.
What I'm saying is he didn't take the Ajax style, but he's tried to do a similar system in terms of transitional football and stuff like that in the Premier League. And in the Premier League, it just doesn't work because you just get continually exposed because the amount of attacking talent you've got in the Premier League, the quickness of the game, and like you said, all the different systems and stuff like that are in this thing. You just can't do it here. Like, it's just not possible.
Bro, if you watch what Ajax did to Dortmund, that Champions League, home and away, Jesus Christ, they absolutely pulled their pants down. And I was like, I can't believe we're going to get this guy. Then look what they did to Real Madrid as well. Like, it was insane. And I haven't seen a glimpse of that at United. I haven't seen an absolute glimpse. So I don't know, man. It's going to be a long one. But I will say this. Let me say this because I always wanted to say this. Like, rival fans and other people would, they will have their field day and all that. But here's one thing I know about Man United, regardless. We always get the last laugh. I promise you this. It might be a shit season. We'll get the last laugh. We'll win some stupid trophy and then we'll all be happy again. But United, one thing I know is that we always get the last laugh. So let them have their fun, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's going to be okay. Also, we'll get the last laugh.
Like you said,
we're Man United. This is what we do.
But off the pitch, everything's going pretty decently and pretty well. Like stadium revampment, the training ground. We've got people with structures and boards and football people and all that. It's just on the pitch at the minute that's just completely falling apart. And like you said,
Yeah,
we've been saying for so many times, once stuff on the pitch
yeah,
goes well, we're going to be a force. We will
everything
fucking
goes.
dominate
Yeah,
this thing. But until we get that
yeah.
right, it's just going to suck. I'm going to read out. If did you want to say something? I'll read out a couple more comments.
No, I was just going to add to what you were saying, that everything we've got, off the pitch is all good. The only difference is, the only thing that hasn't changed is the manager. Like, this isn't really their manager. No, this isn't really their manager yet. So...
No, that's why you could tell as well, because they extended the contract. They didn't give him a new 3-year deal. They went, all right, you've got an option in there. It's 1 year. Prove us wrong, because we don't think you're the right guy, but prove us wrong. You've got a season. And so far, he's failing it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're having conversations again with managers or people that they're looking at. As long as it's not Gareth Southgate, then I think I can live with that. Where are we? UTFR. Where's the style of play? There's nothing. Andy Williams, they wanted to see him play progressive football, went back to first season tactics, still looked hopeless. Timo Werner and Johnson killing our fullbacks. My God, how low the bar is. You know what? They could have won 6-0 if it weren't for Timo Werner, because he's such a shit finisher. If he would have buried our... If that was Son, that's 6-0, isn't it? It is. Like, Timo Werner, though, Jesus Christ. Elite Baller, only a few Bruno stands left. The one saying it wasn't a red. What a surprise. Half of them, Eric Ten Hag bought players. It's definitely his fault. Eric Ten Hag and his won't be around for a few days. I don't know how people are surprised by this. Bar was so low by doing the basics. He was getting applauded for it. Premierships are different. It's Andy. Shocking.
My God.
Richard, the Premiership's a different animal. Our rivals love Eric Ten Hag. Please hit like, subscribe. Yes, please do. I know you don't like the result and you don't like the way United are playing and you don't like the season, but please like the video just to make us feel better. That would be nice. Chivy, next couple of games, Porto away, which big fucking task, big fucking game, and then Villa. I think is Villa away or Villa at home? I can't remember which. They're away. 2 big games. Does he last beyond those if he loses those, or do you think he might go this week before those games?
We've said this before, like me and you in particular. Like, whenever we're like down and out, we just go and pull out some stupid result.
You think that's the case here?
I don't know, because this is what Man United does to us every single time. Like we think we're down, and then some flimsy result comes out. I honestly don't know what to think. I don't think there's anybody out there that can confidently tell you what's going to happen. Because as much as I criticize the manager and sometimes the players, I still want to believe that they're human beings and they don't like what's happening now, and they feel like we need a statement.
Yeah.
Right. And the Europa League is for me, that's our most important tournament this season. Because it's easier for us to get to the top to qualify for the Champions League by winning the Europa League than qualifying for top 4. Like that's completely out. That's a whole nother league. That's our level.
Yeah. And the teams in Europa League are not as difficult as the ones in the Premier League either.
No, not really. We've got Roma. I watched Roma against I can't remember who did. I watched the game. But yeah, Roma just looked, nothing crazy. It's Roma, it's Porto, it's Tottenham, someone else. There's not many tough teams there. So the game against Porto, I'm hoping for a response. Realistically, I don't see that happening. But I'm hoping that the players, I'm hoping that we see some kind of response from there. That 10, 15 minutes today kind of gave me a little bit of hope, because it showed that the players can play.
Yes.
They just need some encouragement. And I was really pleased with the fans for trying to get them off, get them to play and all that. Villa, Unai Emery, I know we did home and away last season, Villa. They also play a high line, and we can exploit that, but Tottenham do, and we fail to do that. So I don't know.
Ipswich gave Villa a game though today, didn't they? It was 2-2. Ipswich gave him a game, so there's things that
yeah.
can be exposed there. But like you said, I don't see where we. This is how many games now without a goal. I don't see where we
but you
score.
see, but we're saying Ipswich, but Kieran McKenna has them drilled really, really well.
Yeah.
And I'm not even confident playing Ipswich with the way they play.
No.
They're organized. Really, really organized. So I'm not even confident playing them.
Well, Southampton gave us shit for 30 minutes in that first half, didn't it? It was like, oh my God, Southampton are outplaying us here before we decided to like, oh shit, and actually do something about it. But the first 30 minutes we were getting torn up by Southampton, so I could see Ipswich doing the same thing. But yeah, do you think? Do you think if he loses those 2 games, do you think he's gone? Do you think that's it? Or do you think you think he gets to Christmas regardless?
I think it'll be done. And the only reason why I think that is because we have a very ambitious part owner in Jim Ratcliffe. Like, he's ambitious.
And you've got Rude sat right there as well.
You've got Omar Barada, you've got people like that are ambitious. Their reputations are hanging on the line. They will not stand for nonsense. Like, people like Ratcliffe, like billionaires like that, like, who actually give a shit about football. Like, they don't care. Like, they don't care about any. Listen, if your results aren't adding up, that's it. You're gone. Like, and they must have had that conversation with him. So I doubt he survives if we don't have any results, or if there's nothing that shows. I mean, if we're losing, but you could see things happening.
Yeah.
You could see like how Arsenal was.
Yeah.
They were losing, but you could, even the fans could kind of see, okay, this is what he's trying to do. We just need to tweak this here, tweak that there.
Get the right players, get this in, get that
in. Yeah, exactly. But we're losing now, and it's like,
and he's got his players as well. He's been backed. He's got his players.
Bro,
like, this is his team. This is his team.
This was his starting midfield. It was called Kobe and Ugarte.
Starting back line as well. He's starting defense. He's goalie. Starting forward line.
Yeah,
all of it.
Yeah, 3 of them he's managed before, so it's not like he's new players. Managed the Ligt, Lissandro, and Mazraoui.
And Onana as well.
And Onana. Yeah. See what I'm saying? So these oh man, we're screwed, man. Spurs fuck. Yeah, he doesn't survive. I don't think so.
Well,
even if he does, he'll just be like a shadow, because they're probably, what's his name? Tuchel has probably switched his phone on now.
Yeah.
He's close to his phone now. He's having like a nice little, I don't know, Weizen beer somewhere in Germany.
You don't think Rude? You don't think they give it to Rude?
No, they give it to Rude, but I'm saying long term.
Okay.
Rude would just be caretaker, and then long term we'll get someone else coming.
I'll read out a couple of last comments and then we'll get out of it. Richard, don't see us winning those 2 games. Bruno out, Ten Hag out, Ruud van Nistelrooy in, Eriksen, Casemiro, Højlund, and Ahmad should have started.
Exactly.
Shout out to Brian Casey. For me, the players played like they did when Louis, Jose, and Ollie were on their way out. No fight at all. Elite baller playing Bruno game after game, regardless of how crap he's been, has been a sackable offense in itself. Jesus Christ. Onana kept score down. Yeah, if it weren't for Onana or Timo Werner when he's shit finishing, it probably would have been about 6-7-0, to be honest with you. Like, it could have been a lot worse. DDDD in the chat is saying Ruben Amorim, the Sporting Lisbon manager. So, yeah, there's some managers out there. There's some really interesting managers out there. You don't have to go for the big name. You don't have to go for like the guy who's like a superstar manager. There's people out there who do, like, look at Arne Slot. He's coming to Liverpool, well set up team. Good thing. He's come in and he's kept going. Like, you could do that. You've got players.
I don't want to. Go on.
You've got players who are very capable, like you said, Chivy. So if you get the right manager in, you can get them playing. You don't have to necessarily go and get Thomas Tuchel or Julian Nagelsmann. Yeah. You can go get somebody like a Thiago Motta, that type of guy who's done well. And bring him in.
I want a Spanish coach. That's what
Spanish
I want.
Coach.
Yeah, I don't trust the Dutch at all anymore. I want a Spanish coach. I like Miguel Sanchez, who's at Girona.
Yeah,
the Spanish have changed football. Like every 4 or 5 years, they bring something new to it and kind of change it. And this goes back all the way to Del Bosque at Real Madrid.
Yes,
like something. They're always changing things. And this is what you can see that with Pep now. See that with Unai Emery. Like they're so advanced in the way they're so technical.
Tweak
But
everything. Every little thing is
yeah,
just tweaked.
ball is always on the floor. It's never a long ball. None of that. None of that. It's Spain won Champions the Euros, or was it the World Cup?
Both.
Without
both. Won both.
Yeah, with Cesc playing. Cesc was playing the false nine.
Yeah.
Then they'll bring on David Villa or Fernando Torres. I mean, they are so advanced in the way they think, and it pisses me off that they fucking have. The Arsenal have what's his name? Arteta, who's learned straight from Pep, who's revolutionizing the game.
You got
everyone on that.
You got Maresca.
It's crazy.
You got Maresca as well, who's learned under Pep, and he's now at Chelsea. And
yeah,
he's winning.
Yeah,
he's putting games together.
Yeah, yeah. The Spanish man, they know their football. They know their football in and out. And I want a Spanish manager. That's why I'm hoping Barada just has a few contacts.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does.
Save us from this bullshit. But I remember just before we go, it's funny how time changes, because I remember last season when we used to do the shows and all the comment section was all, oh, 10 hour again. Like, everyone was crazy about 10 hour again. I can't help but feel like I always felt like, what is it that I'm not seeing? I kind of felt like I was like an outsider. Like, I'm not seeing this thing properly. Like, what am I seeing that everyone else can't see, or vice versa? And then now it's all,
I think
10 days, bro, we're barely six games in.
I think
and the tide has changed.
I think it's
a
lot of people weren't. I don't think a lot of people were like. I think what you were saying about his tactics and style of play and stuff, I think you were spot on with a lot of the points you had like last season. I think a lot of what people had in their heads is because we've just consistently changed managers and it's just continually got worse with no sort of forethought and lurching from one style to another. And so people were just sick of it and they wanted to back a manager and give him time. And I think now they've realised that it's not going to change and things are just going to repeat themselves. And I think now they've come away to that sort of thinking. I don't think it was in terms of like they believed in him tactically. I think they just wanted to believe in a manager and give him some time. That's my opinion.
Hopefully, at least if anything, if there's anything we can take from this now is that for the first time in a very long time, fans will be united on one thing.
Yep.
Finally, the civil war is over. This 10 hour game, 10 hour game. The civil war is over. I think people will be quite unanimous in their decisions now, or in their opinions of the manager. And it's just so frustrating that we've ruined a lot of players. We've completely ruined players. Like, this past thing really pisses me off, but I felt really bad for him because I know the kind of player he is. And I know that under another manager in another team, if he went somewhere else, it'd be class. It'd be absolute class. But we have a manager that just exposes all the weaknesses, and we have young players coming through. I don't want to see him ruin Kobe Mino.
Yeah.
Don't want to see him ruin people like Collier. Like, just ruin their confidence, And I think it's time that finally now everyone can agree. Everyone can see it now, finally,
Yeah.
But yeah, as long as he stays, I mean, I'll always be a Mino fan. Like, I'm always gonna hope for him to win and all that. But yeah, I think the experiment is kind of done now.
Yeah.
I just hope he gives a level-headed press conference, because it's times like this that he's gonna
say something. He's gonna say something.
Daft thing.
Yeah, he will. But yeah, thank you everybody in the chat for joining us. It's been a bit like a therapy session, getting shit off our chest tonight. Terrible game, terrible performance. Future of Ten Hag looks doubtful. I put a poll in the chat. I said, who's to blame for today, manager, players, or both? And the manager is leading. Oh no, the both is just overtaking it with 45%. The manager at 42%. So there you go. Thank you everybody for joining us. Chivy, thank you for joining me as well. We will see you guys for pros and cons tomorrow. Good luck to Nick trying to find some pros out of that. Chivy gave him one for free, so make sure he uses that one. I think it'll be mostly cons tomorrow. But yeah, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.